Welcome back into another basketball preview video for you as we turn our sights this time to Tripoli. Now, before we do, I want to turn your sights a little bit to my Twitter page, Taylor from Kway, where you can find me, Taylor from Kway. If you've missed any of the previews that we've done thus far, I have tweeted them out over there. You can also find them, obviously, on my YouTube page, which that's kind of where you are right now. So if you've missed any, make sure you go back and take a look at them, see what you can kind of expect out of some teams around the area. But as I mentioned earlier, this is about Tripoli. This is about the Tripoli girls. So let's take a look then at the squad. This is a team that last year went 7-15 and started off really, really well. Had a very good start to the season, and then hit a real rough patch once this kind of got into the season. That it started off something really crazy, and after that start, things got very, very tough. Eventually, it would end in a 48-36 loss to West Central of Maynard, a game that I remember doing, and I know Tripoli came into that game confident of winning and moving on in postseason play, but it was West Central who came out victorious on that day and ended Tripoli's season. Of course, that Tripoli season was one last year that did not involve Kennedy Dravis, except for one single game in which she came back from injury for that game and re-injured herself in that game, and that was a painful one, not only for her, but for Tripoli, because she was an outstanding talent. I mean, phenomenal volleyball player, first of all, and a very, very good basketball player as well. Had put up some big-time numbers 2 years ago, and, Tripoli obviously had hoped that she would do the same last year. I was unable to give it a go, and certainly left quite a sizable hole in that Tripoli team last season. Now, obviously, they don't have her back this year either, as she has graduated, and so that is, a big missing piece. A senior that graduated last year, you miss her basically for all of last year, and of course, you miss her for this year as well. That means some other players going to have to step up to take over for her. Also lose Caitlin Peel. Don't want to leave her out because she did do some really nice things for Tripoli last year, including being the second leading rebounder on the team, 6.3 rebounds a game. They're going to have to find from somebody to make up for that. And that's not an insignificant number by any stretch. So they will have to make up for the loss of Caitlin Peel as well. Now, this team from last year for Tripoli scored 45.2 points a game. It's not the worst you'll see, but I think that they can do better. I think they would like their points per game average this year to be higher than that 45.2 of last year. The real problem, and it's not close, the real problem for Tripoli were turnovers. They had 472 turnovers last year compared to just 146 assists. You don't need me to tell you that that's not very good, and that number has to be cut. And I don't mean cut a little bit. It needs to be cut drastically. I'm just going to be as frank as I possibly can here. It needs to be cut drastically if Tripoli want to do much of anything in this upcoming season. Now, they averaged 35.1 rebounds a game. That's not terrible. Again, we mentioned Caitlin Peel. You do lose her rebounding services for this year as well, so you're going to have to get those rebounds from another source. And we'll get to some of the players that are coming back here in just a little bit. Here's the interesting part. Again, Tripoli went 7-15 last year, and the point differential, -1. So they averaged losing game. Over the course of the entire season, they averaged losing, but only by 1 point. That's a whole bunch of really close games, like super close. And you would expect, honestly, with a point differential like that, maybe that record to be a little closer to 500. And so what that tells me is Tripoli are a long, long ways away from being a solid group. They did, scoring-wise, were pretty even throughout as well, which is very, very good. You don't like to see it way bigger in the second half or way bigger in the first half. You like it to be even throughout. And so, Tripoli, there's some positivity here for sure coming into this season on the girls' side of things. But first of all, let's look at the players that they've got coming back And the biggest key for me, and some people may argue this is maybe a little bit of a controversial pick, but the key for me for Tripoli coming back is Olivia Miller. As she averaged 9.5 points a game. That was good for second on the team last year. She was the main ball handler. She will be the main ball handler, no doubt, this year again. She's a kid that I think, from what I know of Olivia Miller, she loves basketball. And I just think that she is a key. And, she's a very good ball handler. You don't see, to be completely honest with you, she's probably one of the best ball handlers in the area. Now, I don't know that I would go as far to say she's the absolute best. There's nobody better. But I do think she's very, very good. And that's a huge weapon for this Tripoli team. Again, I mentioned, if you can cut down on the turnovers, that's huge. And Olivia specifically, if she can cut down on the turnovers that she had last year, she had over 100 on the year, which is not great, of course. If she can cut down on that number and do it significantly, that would go a long ways to making this Tripoli team a real threat in just about every game that they play. I think that scoring number for Olivia can go up as well. I think she has the ability to take some people off the dribble, and maybe she was not aggressive enough, at least for my liking, last year. I think she's got the ability to take people off the dribble, get into that lane, put up a shot, and see if she can get it to fall, because I think she is certainly one of the best shot makers on this Tripoli squad. So I'd like to see her scoring numbers go up. I'd like to see her turnovers go down. And you look at the assists, she led the team with 46 last year, just a little bit over 2 a game. I think maybe that number could go up as well. She did a very nice job of forcing turnovers, 42 steals last year, and that's very, very solid. I don't know that obviously you'd like it to go up, of course, but if she's right around that number again this year, I think she'll be just fine. And so I think Olivia Miller is just such a key coming back. If she can improve on those numbers from last year, I think that this Tripoli team, you go a long ways if Olivia Miller can improve. And I think she absolutely can, and I think she probably will. Another name on the list, in fact, the league scorer from last year, Samara Harms, a really good player. Obviously was a key on the volleyball team that went to state this year again. And she just is one of those that just goes about her business fairly quietly, but you have a lot of confidence in her ability. Again, averaged 9.6 points a game last year. I think that number could go up just a little bit, get into double figures. I honestly think Olivia Miller should and probably will be the leading scorer this year. I think Samara Harms will probably be number 2. There's another person that we're going to talk about that may have something to say about all of this, but I think Harms will be up there. Again, and really what it is her three-point shooting ability. She shot 30% last year. If she can up that percentage just a little bit, that would be so huge. Not only for her, not only for Olivia, but the player we're going to talk about here in just a little bit as well. I think that would be absolutely vital. And if she can handle the ball and help out Olivia Miller, that would be huge as well. Now, let's talk about that other player that I've been referencing a little bit. It's Zoe Samaroff. Of course, a fantastic volleyball player, was on the state all-tourney team for Class 1A, and a gigantic weapon for the Panthers on the volleyball court. I think she should be a gigantic weapon on the basketball court as well. She only averaged 6.5 points a game. I say only because she's got the talent to score way more than that. I honestly think she should probably be a 15-point per game scorer, something along those lines. That's where I think she should be. Now, do I think she's going to add 10 points to her average this year? Probably not. Probably not that much. But I do think she needs to be in double figures. If Olivia Miller, Samara Harms, and Zoe Samaroff are all averaging double figures, look out, man. I mean, that's ball game over. Tripoli are winning tons and tons of games if that's the case. I don't know if there's going to be enough possessions for that to be the case in each game, but I think all three of those players have the ability to go for 15-plus points a game, and I think they should be all, at the very least, right around that 10-point per game average. Zoe Summeroth, obviously, another big key for her, 7.7 rebounds a game. That's very, very good. I think that number could go up a little bit as well. But if she's right around 7.5, that's okay. Although we did mention, again, Caitlin Peel last year, 6.3 rebounds a game. If Zoe can pick up those rebounds a little bit as well, maybe get close to double figures, maybe average a double-double, that's what she's capable of. That's what she's capable of. So I think there is a real upside for this Tripoli team. I honestly do. I don't know that you're going to see a lot of other people take a look at what Tripoli did last year and how it ended specifically and tell you that there's a ton of promise here in this Tripoli team. But the way that I see it, I think there is. And there's some other players that we didn't mention. Morgan Muller's another name to keep an ear out for as well. This isn't a team that's devoid of talent. Look, this team is made up of a lot of the same girls that just went to state in volleyball. And I know they're different sports, but success travels, man. Success travels from sport to sport. And there's some talent here on this basketball team. Now, I guess the question then would come to where would I put them in my ratings? My ratings, if you're not familiar, a 1 is a title contender. A 2 is a state tournament contender. A 3 is a team that's just looking to win more games than lose, and maybe if all things go right, make a run in postseason play, but not necessarily expecting to get to state. And then a 4 would be a team that's rebuilding. And honestly, where I've got this Tripoli team right here, right now, I've got them as a 3. Now, I think they're a fairly low down 3. I don't necessarily think that they're a team that thinks, okay, if we do this and this right, and then we're above 500 and we're making a push at state. I think they're more of a team that, okay, if we really play well, if we come out and execute our plan, we can get to a couple of games above 500. We can get into the postseason and be very, very dangerous. That's the type of team that I'm expecting from this Tripoli squad. And so it's going to be very, very interesting to see how it all plays out. And as is the case with all the other previews that I've done, you're going to hear a number of their games on K-Way. Make sure you stay tuned to K-Way all winter long so that you can hear those games. That is my preview for the Tripoli girls. Look out for the Tripoli boys coming in just a little. The Tripoli boys video coming in just a little bit. Until then, my name is Taylor Nitz. Okay, bye.